What is going on, guys? It's your boy Cali Mac on the track, never whack, bring it back, and we are back with Trash Setting Out episode 157.
Oh.
I'm here with the King as usual, you feel me? Straw Hat Ma in the building. What's going on, my brother?
What's good, y'all? Shoot, I don't really have that much to add into. Oh, actually, no, wait, that's a lie. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mister, you're gonna appreciate this.
Ooh, okay.
One of my friends gave me this. If you could see this.
Is that a pack?
We on the stream delay.
Is that a pack?
Yeah, it's a pack.
Okay.
It's a whole One Piece booster pack.
Oh, that's fire! That's fire!
Modern day drugs, bro.
Yeah, he gave this to me because I don't remember how he got these, but they are not like into One Piece, but they remembered that I was, so they just gave this to me, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's love right there, bro. That's love right there. That's awesome.
That's fire. That's mad fire.
So yeah, I'm very happy about that. But other than that, I don't got nothing else. But
so real quick, Mod, that box specifically is it's the promotional one that came out like a few months ago, and you have a high chance of getting the God pack, which will have all the manga cards in there. So the fact that you have a booster pack, yeah. So that's
you might have to do a little opening stream, no cap, a little opening video unboxing. You might as well record that shit.
You should.
Yeah, you might pull some heat.
You never know, bro. So if you do get it, let me know, because I know people that can help you sell it or grade it, whatever you want to do. So
okay, I'm gonna hold off on opening it anything for now. I'm gonna hold off.
Yeah, you're stronger than me, bro. I would have started going feral just with my teeth. Ripping that shit open. I ain't gonna cap. Cause some of them shits is worth money too, yo.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I'll open it soon, just right, because there's so much going on. But other than that, I will open it. Trust me, I'll let y'all know, because that sounds fire as fuck. So.
For sure.
That's just crazy.
For sure. All right, Mr. G in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, few shout outs. My younger cousin Gina and her now husband Jeff. Congratulations, they got married on Friday. So
nice.
It was a Mexican Italian wedding. It was interesting. Got a mariachi band with some pasta, on the side. So it was definitely interesting. But
that is interesting. It's an interesting mix. It sounds fun though.
It was a lot of fun. And also my godson, happy birthday. A few birthdays actually. One of my best friends, Nick, and Kat and Sabrina, happy birthday to them as well. So volleyball is back. I'm excited, and I'm also your boys joining a basketball league.
Nice. Getting active.
I got tryouts on May 13th. So
let's go.
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's lit. That's lit. Good luck to you, brother, man. Getting active in this shit. Let's go.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right. Last but not least, that boy huss in the building. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? I had a great weekend. Yesterday I was in my favorite city in Canada, Montreal. I was just cheerleading for my friends in Granville and Strive, because we're still waiting for Hunter Hunter and 2XKO over here.
Yes.
But yeah, I had a great time. Ended at like some Mexican restaurant, bro. There, we thought it was already full. Like I had like a whole party of like 12 or whatever. But the entertainment these two guys were singing, they like came out the door like, yo, come in to our whole group of 10. Like they wanted us to sing on the karaoke. It was like straight up Spanish, but niggas were singing anyway. It was we had a night.
Cool.
Bro.
That's cool.
It was so sick, bro. So yeah, man. Shout out to my boys. I had a great night. But it's funny, all the time I couldn't wait to get home and play Expedition 33. So let's wrap this podcast up, boys. I'm excited.
Another shout out, yo. Anyone that loves RPGs or JRPGs, because of the French developers.
Yes, sir.
check out Expedition 33. That game is fire right now.
Banger, bro.
And real quick, at the wedding, I found someone that had the same law tattoo as me.
No way.
So the law heart tattoo. They had it on their on their arm. So we took a picture together.
That's
so
mad
I was like,
cool.
Yeah,
elite, bro, elite. On the One Piece side of things, I've thought a lot. I have a lot of like crazy things I've realized about Elbaf and stuff. So I'm excited to talk about this chapter, the next one. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that may have been here last week, we did have some technical difficulties, so we had to end the stream early. So this week we are going to be going over last week's chapter 1146 and this week's chapter 1147. All right, we're gonna kind of blitz through 46 because it was mostly set up. We got a few things to talk about, but it's nothing too crazy. And then we're gonna get into the meat of it, which will be the next chapter, this week's chapter 1147. All right, we all good? We set?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Callie, real quick, you
looking
mad clean right now, bro. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I appreciate you, brother, man. I appreciate you.
Show you some love, bro. You know, good, bro.
I had to shave the beard. You feel me? It was time for some new beginnings. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little.
No, it looks good
right now. You feel me?
Yo, gotta get on that. Tony Stark vibe, bro.
You feel me? Get the love. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
yeah,
mister, you might go, bro. I appreciate you, man. All right, let's get into it. Chapter 1146. Motion in stillness. So yeah, like we said before, like we've been saying for the past 3-4 weeks, oh my god, no, don't tell me, do not tell me. Ulti, thank you.
There you
go.
Ulti is indebted to Yamato and asks if she insists that she be his follower for life. Oyo Soul is coming, not too much to speak about on this. It is cool to see. One of the things that I am wondering a little bit is just where we go from here. If the cover story is going to keep going, or if it's going to keep going into their retainer story, or if it goes into a different direction. Just because the past few cover stories have been weaved into the canon story in crazy ways. But that's really more. We really just have to see more. Really,
I've become a huge, much more of a big mom's coming Elbaf thing. So if there's proof of that in this,
in the cover story would be so crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Imagine we turn and we see Yamato and the gang walking into the sunset, and then Big Mom behind them. Like what?
Yeah. Or like the ship like sailing off or something like that.
Yeah.
Kaido's hand coming out of the crevice of the ground.
Nah, that shit I would pop off. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely pop off. Yeah, we need more info for this, so we'll wait till the next chapter to see what's up, or the next couple chapters, I guess. Let's get into the actual chapter. We start this one off where we ended off the chapter before this, with Gunko landing on the ship containing Colin, Jinbei, Usopp, Brook, and Nami, on their way to help out the island however they can. They're all in shock at this sudden intruder, Gunko. One of them says one of the human intruders that the castle guards couldn't handle. And Gunko takes offense to this. She says, "You dare call me a human?" And Brook makes a little interesting reaction here. I guess we could talk about it a little later, but Brook's reactions between these past two chapters definitely lead to some discussion.
Yeah.
Facts.
But yeah, she corrects them, lets them know that she and the company she's with are gods. Usopp remarks that sounds like Enel or the Celestial Dragons. And they're all trying to figure out what they could possibly want with the children of Elbaf, including Colin, who these children are his friends. Gunko tells him, "You better watch yourself. You better check yourself or you wreck yourself, young man." She says that they prefer a simpler method, but at that size, their options are limited. So they'll have to walk with them. So they'll just have to walk, and then they will take them to the Holy Land via an appropriate route. As this is happening, we also see a flash to Ripley and Frankie shooting down one of these nightmare monsters along with Bonnie and Lilith.
Yep.
Lilith, yeah. Y'all doing good today. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's real. Yeah, Frankie just took down one of the nightmares as Gunko's making a speech. Nami's confused. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's just funny because Ripley's just holding him backwards while she's running, and she's just holding him back, and he's just shooting.
like a Captain A,
yeah. Yeah, like.
No, it is fine. It is fine. Yeah, Nami is shocked that she mentions the Holy Land. They're all trying to figure out who she is, but Jinbei remarking that she may possibly be a celestial dragon because she mentioned the Holy Land. But Usopp's like, "You don't really look like one of them." And Brook, the ever so knowledgeable 50-plus-year-old pirate, deducts that she is a holy knight, which Gunko confirms. Usopp tries to continue to keep asking questions, but she's immediately attacked, followed by one of Gunko's arrows. Nami tries to come to the rescue, summons Zeus to try and strike her with a thunder shark attack, which is pretty cool.
Yes. Some good moves.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. It's a sick move. Unfortunately, it's no match for Gunko, who just immediately redirects it with her arrow, and sends it back towards Nami. And as the attack is flying towards Nami, Gunko continues to talk. She says, "One day, the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought." As she's talking, Nami's running away from the shark, and it seems like the shark has electrocuted her, but it's actually Brooke to the rescue with the thumbs up, and Nami looking pristine and clean with the thumbs up. It was a pretty funny panel.
I love that panel.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. As that's happening, Gunko continues. She says, "But a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of danger." As she's doing that, Usopp tries to shoot an attack off at Gunko. This giant skull explosion. I think we said before, it was like one of the most destructive moves I've ever seen from Usopp. Like this shit.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Gunko, I think that this could have done some pretty good damage.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, Kelly, when Gunko was saying, just so you guys know, when Gunko was saying, but a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger, we see flashback panels of Vegapunk, Robin's mom, and Dr. Clover.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah, super important. And last time we talked about it before in the Void episode where
that's what it's gonna go by. I ain't
you
gonna
simply
lie.
had to be there, bro. Yeah,
I like that.
The Gunko's whole speech here is like we have heard about resets and stuff like that, the world resetting, but it seemed more like a consequence of people trying to fight. Like the last reset seems more of a consequence of Joy Boy and Luffy trying to fight the world government. So this line by Gunko means maybe Imu and them had more of a goal than just ruling the world. Maybe they have some sort of end game, that they want to have. So we'll have to see more on that.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting line from Gunko here.
Yeah. Definitely something to take note of. Usopp does hit her with this attack, but unfortunately she has regenerative abilities, which look like it's going to be a theme for a lot of the top tier government Mary Joie peoples.
Yeah.
So she regenerates. Usopp originally apologizes. He didn't mean to blow her in half, but she just comes right back. She then says, "Now it's unstoppable and no one can stop it." As she continues her assault on the Straw Hats, she launches an arrow back at Usopp. Nami tries to grab the arrow to save him, while Jinbei and Brooke step up to the plate to try and fend off Gunko themselves. She says the countdown has begun and a vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it, and which side the giants pledge their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. So this is pretty big. This is pretty big reveal. We get the actual motivations. I don't think that. Well, I guess they said it. They did say it before, actually, right? They did say when they were talking to each other, I believe.
Yeah.
That
Shamrock. Yeah.
it was with Shamrock. They were talking about that they wanted the Giants on their side.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the first time like a world government. Honestly, this is one of the first times like a major, I feel like, player has been like, yeah, there's going to be a huge war.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the mention of like the final war, because we know that this final war is going to happen, but like this is the confirmation. Like it's coming. This is the startup.
And honestly, I'm trying to think
together for it right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what when we've heard about this war that wasn't an Oda SBS or like a random.
Right, because that's what I'm thinking of when I think about the war. I think about that Oda SBS when he talked about a war that's going to go on that will blow Marineford out the water.
Yeah. That's we've never gotten like any mention like that until Elbath, really. Like we saw the mural, right? Because we saw the future, right, with the mural, like the third age, what's supposed to happen. So the Giants are the last stronghold, like the last race, I guess, to pick a side. Yeah. And depending on them, that force will tilt the forces to whatever side is going to win this war.
Yeah. I wonder if that has any implications on the war of the Void Century. Like, were they on the world government side maybe the first time, and then they didn't want to be anymore or something? And also, it's not a surprise that they had such an impact because the Void Century after like when the weapons were being used, the sea level was rising dramatically, and they like are where they got to have the Atom Tree, right? They either got it or they defended it, which would be a very valuable place to live, right? To save yourself from the rising sea level. So the Giants are obviously problematic fighters, right? Niggas do not want to mess with them. So it makes a lot of sense, but it's crazy to hear about this vast war from the world government side.
Yeah. I can honestly see, I don't know. I can see a timeline where the Giants, I can see a timeline where the Holy Knights plan maybe doesn't go all according to plan, but I can see it where the Giants do end up having to work with the world government. I can see a timeline where they might end up having to fall into their demands and be on the world government side, especially if the kids end up getting taken. And I think that's where the tension in this arc is really gonna lie more than anything. Because right now I really feel like Luffy clears damn near everybody on this island except for maybe Shamrock.
And Shamrock's not here, so
Shamrock's not here. So like, I really feel like how those implications towards the future is where the tension and things like that are really going to stem from in this arc, more so than Luffy versus Gunko versus Summers. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
what I will say is that these Holy Knights, I don't believe in them to stop like Luffy, Loki, Zoro, Sanji.
Right.
But another thing I will say is that I'm so much more firm in the belief that there will be a lot of huge players on Elbaf before the arc ends. Think Blackbeard, think Big Mom, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I was going to say, when did Elbaf start again? Like a month ago or 2 months ago?
It was more than that.
3 months ago?
Yeah, in terms of chapters, it's been like 20.
Yeah, so it was at least
20,
like
5 months.
6 to 7 months. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I just don't believe that the main crux of Elbaf is right here, because I just feel like it's still a little too soon.
Yeah.
This is the opening act. I feel like
so like Waha said, I still think major players are still going to be coming. This is just like a little,
prelude.
I won't say little, because I mean it is kind of major that kids are being kidnapped and stuff, but at the same time, this feels like a diversion. You know what I mean? This feels like, something to keep us fed until the real meat and potatoes come to the island.
Yeah, I don't think
way the Holy Knights right here are the big bads that we need to deal with to free Elbaf and be like, all right, they're gone, we're on our way. Like, nah, I don't
highly agree.
I just feel like I agree with that within the sense of this arc. I don't see the Holy Knights fully succeeding as things are right now. Like you said, more players may come in or whatnot. I feel like in terms of the future, I could just see that. I think that'd be really dope. I think it'd be a really dope thing, almost narratively, I guess, to see Luffy and them have to go against people like Hydrogen and Dory and Bragi and things like that. And then maybe even with someone like Loki in tow, if the Giants did end up having to defect to the world government and Loki ended up staying on the side of I'm two-piecing right now. I'm gonna stop. I ain't gonna lie. I'm two-piecing a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, just a little bit.
I like the ideas, but I feel like it's like kind of like a little morbid for Oda.
It's a moot point because what changed that whole thing? What if Luffy's here? So like like that goat is gonna do something. I think it's just right now it's just a stop of the inevitable of the start of this whole war. Like something's gonna flip Elbaf over, and then like shit's gonna pop off, and then like you guys said, people are gonna show up, and like we really get like this is like Impel Down, going into forward type of thing.
That was a great comparison, and I think Elbaf might not end as cleanly as like Giants and Luffy win, they're on his side, and or like Giants and Luffy lose and they're on Giants are on world government side. I think like Mr. said, it's gonna like probably end with the island in tatters. All the stuff that Scalper Gabon has been saying about the end of the world,
Right.
and if Elbaf is still safe and stuff like that, like this shit could like we just end up with Elbaf in tatters, like the Atom Tree like toppled, mate, like potentially, you never know. But I just think like, yeah, I don't think Oda would let Luffy let Hydrogen and them be in the position of, you know, having to concede to the world government. Especially because he let Vegapunk die last arc, and he said he wouldn't be.
That's fair.
So I don't think
that's
they get
fair.
out 2 years in a row.
That's definitely fair.
I ain't gonna hold you. Not that I don't believe in Luffy or anything like that, because of course I do. He's, you know, one of my goats, but I do feel like if that was to happen, where suddenly the Giants are on the Marine side, I mean not Marines, but world government side, and the Holy Knight's there, and then fighting, you know, Dory, Broggy, and Harujin, and all the Giants and stuff, I think that might be a little much. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I mean, I could definitely see it being possible because I mean we've seen the Giants at odds before amongst themselves, right? Dory, Broggy against each other. We got the new Giants. We got the old Giants. So like, you never know whose allegiance could go with who.
True. You're right. It may not
when
even be like everybody at once type thing. It could be some of them be like, okay, you know what, we got to do this for the kids, and someone be like, what? Like, you know, it's like you know what you're talking about, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people don't have kids, some do. You know, like the parents want to do something, but like say Dory and Broggy don't have kids, they're like, yo, fuck them kids. Like let's we gotta save our whole country. But then the parents like, yo, fuck that. Like so, you know, that's where like this dude, what's his name? Saint Summers, that's where like he gets that sadistic side that, you know, like he gets that kick from, which is crazy, but like that's what he wants to see. He wants to cause that chaos, that turmoil
That
amongst,
division.
yeah. And that's why the Holy Knights are like, they're not even trying right now, like they're fooling around, which is wild. And like, you know, because this is the strongest race, right?
Yeah.
And the Straw Hats are one of the stronger crews out, Yonko crews out there, and they're being toyed with right now. I mean, granted, we haven't seen the main forces of the Straw Hats, right? But you know, it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
I do know what you
Right.
mean, Callie, though, because like the tension and everything, like there's some tension there. Like there is tension there, but it's not like we're like, oh, the Straw Hats are there, so like things are gonna work out. But
Yeah, but it's
I
definitely
just, I just
it is definitely still early. I do 100% agree that it's still early. So anything could definitely happen. We're in the end game now.
yeah, facts.
Yeah. So Nami refuses to believe that the whole world could possibly be at war. Jinbei recognizes the full extent of the Holy Knight's plan to kidnap the children to seize control of Elbaf in preparation for this said war. Gunko says that she performs her duties as commanded, but it could all be for nothing. She says the lives of a few children might as well be trashed to me. I do not understand the concept of hostages. Oh, she's cold,
wild,
yeah.
She is.
Colin steps up to fight. Also, we also get a panel at the bottom of Loki and Luffy just completely pigged out.
Yes, sir.
Fat ass bellies. I can't lie. I feel like this is one of the biggest indicators that Loki might join. I'm not gonna lie, because this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is like,
wait, like full blown join the Straw Hats?
yeah,
like,
bro. This is like
Just-
Luffy crew coded right here, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I like to look at it more like a Luffy parallel than like
Definitely.
per se like a Luffy Straw Hat crew per se. Like
That's fair.
he's like Luffy.
That's fair.
Which in any case, I think he would just like have his own pirate crew.
That's fair.
What he feels like to me.
I'm gonna just go on record now. My stock's on Loki joining this arc, especially after we got hold 2 arcs ago of Yamato in Wano. Oda's not gonna do it again. I got my stocks. My stocks on Loki joining. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oda looks at niggas like you.
Oh damn! That's
Oda
the
looks-
10th
Oda-
member?
Bro, he looks at niggas like you, ready to break your heart.
Yo, he
He's
does.
like, yo,
I
Oda's
ain't
not
gonna
gonna do
lie.
it again, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I know he be watching niggas like me just laughing, just sitting back in his chair, just maniacally laughing.
He's like, Wait till the end. No, I was gonna say I feel like Loki has too much of an ego to want to be under Luffy. You know, unless Luffy does something crazy.
Yeah, I think Luffy's gonna do something crazy. I think
I think so
I
too, yeah,
generally think Loki's entire personality won't shift. I think his entire viewpoint is gonna shift by the end of this arc.
Because yeah, that's fair. It's either that or he like is the leader of the Elbath part of the Grand Fleet. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro.
same thing with how Yamato.
Bro, he is not the sun god, bro. He is not the sun god, bro. And when he meets the real sun god, he's gonna learn, bro. Like, he's gonna learn. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That would be something though, because I mean, once he sees Luffy in action with Gear 5th and stuff,
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's gonna be a change of perspective, man.
Looks like we got to see what that looks
There's
like.
no way he doesn't see the real sun god. Yeah, there's no way he doesn't see the real sun god, and the light bulb doesn't go off in his head. Like, wait a minute.
No, definitely.
Has my life been a lie? Was I wrong?
I'm not him. Oh my god.
Word.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So Colin tries to step up to the plate, immediately gets snatched up. I don't know what he thought he was doing there. Just put himself in harm's way. Jinbei and Brook try to save the day, but their attacks get redirected towards each other by Gunko. And then Nami catches a kick straight to the face through the arrow. We rarely see Nami get smoked like this. So, like, you know, Oda don't like Nami getting hurt like that, but she done got kicked straight to the face.
She got smoked like that before, but it's usually by other women that she gets smoked like that.
True. Like Ulti, then the one in Alabasta.
Yeah, I think y'all brought this up last time. I don't remember Ulti doing Nami that badly. I'm not gonna lie. Or if she did, it was off screen.
The headbutt was a bad one.
Nah, the headbutt was crazy. That was more brutal than this. In my
You
opinion.
know what? I don't remember that headbutt because I only remember Usopp's skull getting cracked with his headbutt. So that's why I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
That's why we felt bad for Nami, because the headbutt to Usopp was first, and that shit was crazy. So
wait, she headbutted Nami. Wait. I don't remember this because I remember Usopp getting headbutted, and then Ulti's like, I'm about to headbutt you. Unless you say it. I remember.
She said, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah. Unless you call out your captain, and then she's like, "Luffy will be king of the pirates." And then I thought she was about to headbutt her, and then she got saved.
No, she got headbutted. She headbutt her, and then she said, "I'm going to kill you." Because Nami was in a lot of pain because she said, "I've never been in this space." She said, "I've never been in this much pain in my life." Like, she was like. She was crying. She was like, she was like tearing up, and Usopp was telling her like, Nami, it's okay, because she was like, admit that your captain ain't going to be king of the pirates. And Usopp was like, Nami, no one will blame you if you just went along with what she said. Like, that's why it was a dope moment when she was like, he's going to be king of the pirates. Like, that was crazy.
Okay, that's fair. I definitely just forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why that hit so hard.
Yeah, like, I definitely forgot. I'm not gonna lie. That's fine.
So she says here that she actually headbutted Nami first, and then Usopp intervened, and then that's when
he got the skull cracked. Okay. Yeah, I definitely just forgot. It's been a hot minute. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Usopp got hit second.
Yeah, so we get to see how like the extent like that first headbutt was, and then she threatened to headbutt Usopp again, and that's where they're like, if he takes another one of these, he's gonna die. Like, so.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I do think it's still always like a kind of jarring to see Nami get like.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, those moments are few and far between for Nami, so it's definitely pretty jarring.
She got hit by in Skull, Beowulf's like 2H, like kick, like she literally like stepped into that fucking uppercut kick, bro. Like,
that too.
Yeah, she had momentum from that arrow too. Like, Nami got sent flying with that shit.
Yo, Gonko's gonna be mad fun in the fighting game. I'm just saying.
No, she would be.
Gonna be mad fun.
She would be. That's real.
Also, just a quick fun fact, just so that I don't know if you guys knew this, but Oda met his wife at like
a One Piece convention. I'm sorry, I definitely just undermined it, but I knew that shit, so I had to get it out. I ain't gonna lie.
It kills me.
In fact, she was dressed up as Nami. So like, he's always had a thing for Nami, and like it just goes to show you, like, every once in a while she'll get hit, but like it'd be like one hit and then she comes back and does her thing.
That's it. Yeah, I'll never do this again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just for the allegations. Just can't show favorites right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so Straw Hats are getting taken out. Usopp gets kicked a knee straight to the face. He gets absolutely obliterated. It's not looking good for the goats.
Just to be clear, I just love how Oda, like you said, Oda will like protect Nami in the sense that even though she got hit like that,
you're not seeing it like that. Yeah, it's not to the same extent.
But Usopp gets the most brutal depictions
Yeah.
of getting attacked.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
Because she attacked Nami first, and then she went even harder on Usopp.
It's literally the same thing. Ain't that some shit? Yeah, Oda loves Nami.
It's like Oda was like, okay, look, here's the kick that we did at Nami, but just to give you our perspective of how hard that is, here's Usopp, and here's like how it actually like looks. Like this is crazy.
Yeah. So we move over to the library and we get a conversation between Killingham and Summers. Summers asks if Killingham is all set up. And I think Killingham says the means of communication are so inadequate in Elbaf. I can't tell who's saying what, but one of them says it seems like every village and important facility has its own transmission tools. Transmission tool? Yeah.
That's Summers responding, yeah.
Yeah, he says corner, nice hard corner, and then slams the holy hell out of the principal Tusk guy. I don't know what this corner line is.
Corner, nice.
I think it's the table, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what that's going with that, but he does grab the principal by the beard and obliterate him with a head slam.
Is he controlling him? Like making him hit, like telling him to like hit himself in the corner?
No, he's grabbing him by the beard and slamming him.
Like almost.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know what that line is. Well, maybe one of you guys can find it. If you guys leave it in the comments, you guys know, so you can explain it to us.
Please.
Angie is also incapacitated. She says she can't move. Apparently killing him can slumbertize bodies. I'm pretty sure that's not a word, but
that's definitely not.
Can apparently slumbertize bodies and make it so that they're unable to move.
Was it like sleep paralysis in TCB or something like that?
I think it was sleep paralysis. Yeah, it wasn't this word for sure, but whatever. We see that he's in front of a big transponder snail, a transponder pill bug. I guess that's the snail of this island. And apparently they've set it up so that they can transmit a message across the entirety of Elbaf. Summer says he's about to give off this message, but he has to finish off the person in front of him, who is none other than Saul, who Summers recognizes as the person who should have died at O'Hara, former Vice Admiral. Saul tells Robin and Chopper, who are hiding in his beard, to make sure that they stay inside and not to come out. And that they have to try and help rescue the children. And as he says that, he falls down to the ground into these roses. Summers says, schools, libraries, what kind of peace-loving nonsense is this? You people are warriors. You're going to use the vicious, violent power that once terrified the world in service to us as mercenaries. Isn't that right, King Harold? We get a tiny little panel of King Harold back in the day. And then he finishes by saying, stupid Harold had to go and screw it all up. Yeah, that ends the chapter.
Yeah,
that was a crazy ending.
That was a very crazy ending. We got a slight peek into Harold and the type of person he may have possibly been.
And then things that he did.
Things that he may have possibly done. Yeah. We're getting little by little. We're getting a little more into the infamous King Harold. Yo, this Elbaf backstory is about to hit like crack in the 80s, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit is going to go so crazy, yo.
Someone's been watching Snowfall.
But yeah, it's gonna be nuts. And the official here is we're so direct about the King Harold lines, which was a little like not as direct.
Yeah.
But like he's saying that King Harold basically signed up Elbaf to be, the slaves of like the world government and work for them before whatever happened. Right. Which is like the nail in the coffin that King Harold was
working with them. Yeah.
Right.
It's over.
So I do think this definitely helps give more credence to what you were saying, Wahas. Like the Holy Knights might have attacked King Harold, or right? Because you were they were definitely working together.
Right.
Yeah, and things like soured in some way.
Yeah, but something soured, and then Harold made a decision. Maybe he gave Loki the fruit.
Yeah.
He like eat this in front of the Holy Knights, and then that caused the Holy Knights to attack, and they killed everyone. And then Loki got out. I don't know,
Something like
thanks
that,
to the
yeah.
powers, but it definitely because if you look at the marks that were left in the throne room, it looked like claw marks, like Shamrock, like Cerberus was there, so
Mhm.
it definitely
Mhm.
makes you it gives definitely more credence to what you were saying,
It would
Miles.
make a lot of sense too, like if it was because he finds Loki thinks Shanks is a coward, right? And I think one way that would explain that neatly is if like 14 years ago he sees Shamrock, who he probably thought was Shanks, kill Harold, and then 6 years ago Shanks catches him at sea for the thing that he thinks Shanks did. Um,
Oh, that's
But
probably
didn't he
why.
recognize? But wait. Didn't Loki recognize that? He said, didn't he say that he looks like Shanks or
yeah,
something?
he did say he looks like Shanks, but you could tell clearly now that he's not Shanks because of his long hair. Maybe it wasn't as long back then.
Because it was
It
a few years
wasn't. It
ago.
wasn't a long
Yeah,
time
because it
ago.
was time that.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. So if back in the day his hair was only just as long as like, as Shanks always has been, and then maybe he thought at that time that was Shanks, but then seeing him now, but then I don't know, I felt like low key, if that was the case, if Loki was like thinking about it like that, I felt like once he saw Shamrock, I felt like we the audience would have got like some type of, I don't know, eureka moment with
Like,
Loki.
oh shit, Shanks is not a terrible person. Yeah, potentially, yeah, that's a good point.
or some type of thing going in the back of his mind about like what he thought he saw. Like when Oda does like those gray shaded.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's not. I feel like it's more in line with Oda to lead to. What am I trying to say here? Oh my god.
Like lead the audience down the character's thought process.
I don't want to say fully that. Yo, deja vu. I feel like we've had this conversation before. Yo, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I feel like we've had this convo before. But I do think that Oda leaves crumbs, but he doesn't explicitly leave clues. I think if he were to say something, I think if Loki were to say something specific like that, like, wait a minute, so it wasn't him, or, something exposition heavy like that, I feel like that's a little bit too on the nose for Oda to do. I think people would have recognized almost immediately, or within the next chapter or two, people would have recognized, oh, he was talking about Shanks. Oh, Shanks didn't do it, or it was Shamrock. People would have pieced everything together immediately after that, had Oda put that line in there.
Well, yeah, but you also got to remember, this is the same Oda that was also giving us like breadcrumbs to the fact of Shamrock being Shanks' evil twin this whole time, and he still was hiding his face. Like we wouldn't know, even though we saw him come to
Elbaf. Like in the beginning of Elbaf, you mean? Yeah.
Like he was still hiding it, even though everybody pieced together.
No, I feel you. I agree. Like, I do think that specific example, but I do think that the example that we're talking about is still a little too on the nose. But that's just me. That's just me.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
But yeah, I definitely view it as like a potential explanation. I'm not locked in on it. But either way, like this chapter is like the drop. Like, oh wait, why do the Gods Knights like work with Harold?
Right.
Yeah. And as for the Saul stuff, I feel like we can just continue the next chapter.
Yeah. So we good, right? We can just go to the next one then. Yeah. Let's.
Real quick, it was cool seeing. I think all the strides. I think we're showing off new moves for the most part, but still got.
I mean. Showing off. I don't know if I'd say showing off.
Well, it was not Usopp, really.
Because Usopp did a no-name attack, so that's another thing. And but Brook and I'm not sure about Brook and
Jinbei,
because I think the last time I saw Jinbei do a 3,000 stand like brick attack, but I don't remember. But they try to show off, but obviously Gunko just one up them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, let's do the second chapter 1147, What We're Afraid Of. Cover story has continued, mostly resolution from prior story. They're getting thanked by Raizo, who is the daimyo of Udon. Did we already know that?
No,
I
we
don't
didn't.
remember. I don't think so.
We didn't.
Okay, so cool info. Cool info.
It's so this is where I think Callie, like you, because you're asking like what's gonna happen next. You know, I do think we're just gonna continue on with Yamato's journey of becoming Odin, but I do think that we're gonna get new people becoming retainers, like people that were inspired, because I think the old ones, like they're becoming daimyos. They've done their time. You know, like I don't see them becoming retainers still for Yamato. So you know, it's pretty cool seeing.
That's what I was asking before. I was wondering if it was going to continue the retainer journey, or if we were going to break off into something maybe more related to the story at hand.
Well, I do think it will come to relate to the story at hand. I think like once Yamato goes through the whole journey, have the force. Next thing you know, we're gonna see a panel of.
I feel like that's a long ass cover story. We're already on 32 of this cover story.
Yeah, the whole cake one was pretty long too. Like the before it crossed over with the Blackbeard pirates taking over Whole Cake and shit. It was pretty long. Like they had it on for a while. So
you know what? I got it. Yamato is going to discover the Big Mom pirates helping get Big Mom out the volcano. Like, or she was in the middle of them taking Big Mom out of the volcano or something. I don't know, because we haven't seen them in a while. The ones that came to Wano and never returned back, because we saw the cover story of Aokiji and who else? Van Auger infiltrating Whole Cake.
Yeah.
So we never saw Pedro and not Sparrow and rest of them back there. So they're still missing.
That's true.
So,
by the way, the Whole Cake one was 33. It was 34. It was 33, and the longest cover story has been 48 chapters.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they can't. They're not going to go through a whole retainer journey within then, unless this is about to be the longest cover story ever, 60 chapters.
Unless they pick up real fast, like
I don't know.
Next was like 5 retainers at once.
I think off that info, I feel like this is towards the end of the cover story, to be honest.
And the whole one was a ton of things. It was like I feel like they were talking about the Germa, and then they're talking about Vegapunk. And they went to the real time Aokiji. So there's a lot of things. This has been like, you know, Yamato.
So, literally Yamato.
I think we'll probably get something, you know, some sort of like, whoa, we'll have
some payoff. Yeah, I think we will.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. All right, let's get into the chapter. We start the chapter with our boy Saul in dire straits. We're reminded that he told Robin and Chopper to make sure they stay hidden, and they let them know that he is a holy knight and that he's immortal and that he cannot be beat, and that they need to hide and wait for their chance to save the kids.
I want to say that I owe Robin an apology, because last week I was like, yo, I don't think we got far enough for me to say it, but I was like, yo, fraud watch.
Oh no, she let you know the chapter. She let you know the chapter.
I don't know if you guys have seen, but my profile picture is literally the Robin panel from.
I'm disappointed in you right now, bro.
Okay, no, listen.
But that has been a. I've seen a couple people with that. What Wyatt is about to say.
That's fine, but I expected more from Huss. That's all.
All I was thinking was like, yo, how are you just standing there?
Yeah,
like we saw you know, like go ham in Wano. We saw you get injured in Egghead, which the anime expanded on, that she was saving Vegapunk somehow. And this is your dog. You know, we cried in that chapter when they reunited. And so that's why last chapter ended. I was like, Robin, and then people were like, yo, maybe. Like my boy literally told me right now. Like my boy literally said, like, oh, you know, maybe they just want to listen to Saul and hide. You know, like they don't want to, like, you know. Literally just listening to Saul, you know, and I was like, you know, potentially. So I wasn't a super fraud watch, but my first reaction was fraud watch, and now fully no longer fraud watch.
I respect that. She definitely, man. I think she definitely, She. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. You know, but there is a straw hat that needs to get slandered this chapter, and I'm gonna slander them on this page actually.
I know who.
Yeah, because they need to get slandered.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
All right, we're gonna talk. It's right here.
I will say though, real quick though, we have seen Robin get pricked by roses before when she fought against what's his face?
Diamante.
Diamante. Yeah. So
That scene is literally why I was like, Robin, stand up.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
I love
just
that
for a
scene.
second, bro. Yeah. You know,
She had to
shit.
lock in. Yo, look, she gotta protect the
Yeah.
little one, bro.
Yeah,
look,
no,
at
fact,
look at the real fraud, bro. This is the besides everything else, this is the true fraud, bro. Like, look at my man Chopper, bro. You need help.
And not just that though, but like the fact that like she just got soul back and this dude might be dying already, like in front of her, like yeah,
Yeah.
a little PTSD. But then she like Callie said, she's locked in. So shit.
Yeah,
1
we gonna see.
second,
We gonna see. Yeah.
unbelievable, Wes, unbelievable.
Why huss? Why huss? My man's was like fraud, yo, fraud.
I just and last chapter I was like, dude, what are you like, yo? Hey man.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, so Summers now finished with Soul, turns to Gunko, who has the Straw Hat crew captured and wrapped up in her arrows, I'm assuming. Summers wonders if she's gonna take them with them. And then Killingham says, "Are you crazy? That's Straw Hat Luffy, the Emperor. Are you crazy? I'm not trying to pick a fight with him. We out of here." So Luffy's name is Luffy.
Yeah.
Our boy came a long way from that, from the boy in the barrel, man. I can't lie to you. That's the Emperor to see right there.
And this kind of also gives us a little bit confirmation. I want to say a little power scale moment. So
Yeah, oh boy.
It's just very telling. It's not 100% or nothing, but it's very telling power scaling science that the Holy Knights are kind of fearful of encountering Emperor Luffy. Meaning maybe they're not like at that level
at that Emperor level. But I never assumed they were. I assumed maybe Shamrock might be, but I never assumed any of them were dealing with Luffy, to be honest.
I think it's kind of fair to question because they're making the Strauss look stupid. But again, I think that's trickiness is their devil fruits.
Yeah, well, Straw Hats compared to Luffy, you know what I'm saying? It's
no, absolutely, but she made 4 of them look stupid at once. One of them being
I ain't gonna lie, Luffy would make all 4 of them look crazy too, just like that. Like literally that same extent, he would make all 4 of them look crazy. Usopp, Nami, Brook, and Jinbei.
Doesn't that kind of speak to my point about like seems to be crazy strong? That's something Luffy could do. Although like I know what you mean. Like Luffy would probably kill him if he wanted to. But all I'm trying to say is that like it's fair to ask. I think. I agree. Yeah. I kind of do. I was already with you. I never thought they were even close.
Okay.
Agreed. But I do think 3 Holy Knights against Luffy, they could probably take on Luffy because their powers are so like weird. You're not weird, but like No,
I mean they are. I mean they are weird. I don't think that's wrong. Yeah.
That's also what they're worried about with Luffy's powers, right? With the Joy Boy power, like they don't know what to expect. Like what could happen with if them going against it. So
my boy Luffy held back an admiral and a goddamn Gorosei at once. He's taking everybody on this island out single-handedly with one finger. Luffy with one leg, one arm, no eyes. It's smoking this whole island, bro. I'm not hearing it, yo. I'm not hearing it. That nigga is the tippy top of this island right now. Unless Shamrock is still here. Then that's extreme death.
The Knight's got 2, 3, 4,
He's smoking them all, bro. All of them. Gomu Gomu no. Holy Knights be gone. And then it's over, bro. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
I think it also speaks to like,
that's exactly what we're gonna do, bro.
I think it also speaks to like the question of the tension of the arc that we were talking about. The only reason this is even happening is because the Monster Trio is underground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That and dude, I could definitely see the fact that like because Colin got taken, right? They use Colin to get Gabon to fight Luffy. That's the only way they cancel out Luffy in this arc. Like have Gabon taking care of Luffy while the other Holy Knights fight like Sanji and Zoro and shit like that.
That'd be interesting. I'm interested to see how, because we as we see later, Gabon definitely cares for and wants to protect his son. So I'll be interested to see how that dynamic would play out for sure. So Killingham is like, let's not mess with Luffy, let's get out of here. And then we see the Straw Hats caught. We see the fraud in question that I've been speaking on, Nami, talking about poor Saul's been tornapped and we let Colin get kidnapped. How could you let this happen, Jinbei? Jinbei says he's trying to come up with a plan. Usopp's scared, and Brook makes a interesting line that there's something about the woman, but maybe it's just his imagination. We could talk about that, but I need to shit on Nami real quick because I don't understand how, as the Yonko crew that you are, why you are so pressed for Jinbei to do something. Do something. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, are you not on the same crew as Jinbei? Like, were you not on the crew for longer than him? Like, why are you looking to him? This nigga just joined the crew 3 days ago, bro. This nigga just pulled up 3 days ago, and you're like, help me, big bro. Like, come on, dude.
Wait, hold on.
She needs to lock in, bro. I'm not jacking Nami this chapter. She needs to lock in, bro.
Hold on. In Nami's defense, I'm going to defend Nami here a little bit. No, wait, Callie, hold on.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Look. In her defense, right? I think it's perfectly reasonable for her to understand her strengths and weaknesses and know that, like, she couldn't fight a character like Gunko, but thinking that, like, okay, with Jinbei here, who's like a billion berry bounty. He did something against Big Mom. He's one of them. He's like the fourth. He's literally the fourth strongest on the crew.
I'm with that though. I'm with that. I'm with Nami having the idea that Jinbei should have been able to protect them. I'm fine with that. Jinbei is that guy. He has that bounty. He joined the crew as people were saying he might have been one of them. Like, he's the fourth strongest on the crew, more or less. So I get having that thought process. My thing is, you telling him to his face, how could you let that happen?
That's very Nami.
She was saying this Zoro and Sanji is why I think it's like.
But Zoro,
she does that to, like. I'm about to say, didn't she do that, something like that?
I would have felt the same way if it was Zoro or Sanji. I feel worse. I feel like it's stupider because of Jinbei, but I would have felt the same way if it's Zoro and Sanji, because you didn't do shit. So how are you upset that somebody else didn't do shit when you couldn't do shit? And then to say it to his face like he didn't try to do shit when you couldn't do shit in the first place. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, that's just fucked up. That's fucked up to Jinbei. That's fucked up to yourself. Like she has to do better, bro. I'm not jacking it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not jacking it. I understand. I do understand her looking at him like he's that guy because he is that guy, and I understand him thinking that he should have been able to protect him. My thing is her saying that to his face like he didn't deadass try to help, and like she didn't do absolutely not a goddamn thing that entire time. Like, you got some nerve, bro. If I was Jinbei, I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, what?
I don't think it's like that. That deadly a remark.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that grave of a remark, because even Jinbei doesn't even honor with a real answer.
Jinbei, that's why Jinbei's my fucking goat. Because he's like, all right, whatever, bitch. Anyway, let me figure out what's going on here.
I think that's how you should take it, because it's just like a little comedic, like, you know.
She did lead the attack against Gunko at first, which was more impulsive.
And how much? And what did that attack do?
Nothing. It
Absolutely
actually made things
nothing.
worse.
So you did the same shit as Jinbei, and you mad at him. All right, cool. It's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, but,
all right, it's fine.
Yeah, but again, she acknowledges Jinbei as stronger than her. So, you know.
If you know that you're whack, if you know that you're garbage, you know that you are not doing shit, and you know you need somebody to save your ass, then how are you berating the nigga that tried to save your ass? He tried to save you.
Hey, all I'm going to say is every single person's a critic of something, even if they're not as good at it.
You know what? That's real. That's real. I respect that. That's real. That's real. That's very real. That's very true.
Yeah, I think it's like a big bro type thing. It's not. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm literally just playing. Like, it's just a little throwaway line. It's funny. It's just funny.
It is.
But yeah, onto the Brook line. I saw a lot of people talking about this. That Brook may know Gunko as somebody in her past.
I fuck with that, and I think the TCB was much more like inconclusive because this one it's like I feel like there's something about that woman, so that means he could take that a lot of different ways, right? Like that could be like like there's something special about her, or like the regeneration might have been this XYZ. Right. It could have been any, but I feel like the TCB was like that woman. Nah, it couldn't be. As if like to me that sounds more like yo, do I recognize you?
Yeah,
nah, okay, it's probably someone else. And again, Brook, like him knowing the Holy Knight thing last chapter when none of the Straw Hats did.
Yeah.
And the fact that 50 years ago he was on the Rumbar pirate crew, but before that he was the captain, like the word for word Oda SBS is he was the captain of a guard in a certain kingdom, and certain was in quotation marks. If Gunko potentially might know him from there.
She could be the princess from that kingdom, maybe.
Yes, I heard that. So my boy said the same thing. So I think that I like that idea a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
That'd be interesting.
So I wanted to ask you guys. So do you guys think that her regeneration thing is just a Gunko thing, or is it like the Emu, like
it's the Emu thing,
or like all the Holy Knights have this power?
Yes, and it comes with the mark, probably.
Because so they're all immortal. Yeah, so all immortal. So I guess Gunko might have been
like around during that time.
Yeah, for a while.
It's a possibility.
That could be why he's like, oh nah, it can't be, because if that's who I recognize from back then, she
can't look right. Yeah, right. That's definitely a possibility.
Using like a rapier, like what he would use.
That's true.
Something to think about.
That's true. So, that's a good catch. That's a good catch.
The same kingdom, same fighting style. So yeah,
it's a good catch. It'll be interesting to see if they have a deeper connection, or if it's just One Piece fans doing Two Piece again. We'll see.
No, that's true. That's true. And then that's why she likes his music, because it reminds her of home or whatever, maybe.
Yo, could be.
Yo, you might. Yo, cracking it open here, man. Yeah. So she points the sword at Brook's face, and then kicks his skull. Yeah, she's beating this nigga up. And then she says, I want you to write songs for me for the rest of your life. You're going to be my slave. So we do finally get that interaction between Brook and Gunko about Brook being a fan, or Gunko being a fan of his music. All the Straw Hats are shocked. Jinbei's like, that's kind of a nightmare of a fan. Real Stan shit.
You don't want that shit, bro. The Silicious Dragon's like, yo, I'm a fan of you. I want you. That's it.
Yeah.
Not fuck that. I'm good.
Summers knocks it off, and once again reiterate that Luffy is that guy, and I'm not trying to fuck with an emperor, please. They are not trying to tangle with Luffy.
It's actually so sick seeing like the red tape applied to Luffy.
Yeah, like, it's every time I see it, it's such a dope feeling, sick. Man. Yeah. It's very cathartic. Very cathartic.
We saw all those times the red tape applied to every other, Whitebeard, Shanks,
Blackbeard, bro, Kobe was there.
Big Mom. It's like all of that, and now it's on Luffy. It's so good. It's
very cathartic. Very cathartic.
I just think that his name alone is protecting his crew.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, so someone's trying to get out of here. So Brook responds to Gunko's offer. He says, I'm quite sorry, young lady, but from the day that Captain Straw Hat Luffy bestowed me my second life, I have been dedicated to no one but him. Gunko says, what if I said I'd kill you? Brook says, I would rather die than live without honor. The fucking GOAT. I popped the fuck off when I read this panel, yo. Like, that guy. And I think back in Wano, we had the discussion where all the Straw Hats have to have that moment where they declare, that allegiance to Luffy against an enemy.
Yeah, Brook did against Big Mom.
Yes, I actually was thinking he was going to say that.
That's true.
But he did say the exact line during the Big Mom thing.
Okay, that's true. It is still hard, though. It's definitely still hard.
So hard. Yeah.
I popped off when I read this panel, man.
Definitely. Brook, unfortunately,
does take arrow-powered kick to the face for that. Which, and for some reason, Gunko's chest hurts.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I see why he's putting his hands up. Like, I don't know. I got nothing. For whatever reason, Gunko's chest hurts after she kicks Brook.
I don't know. Maybe kicking her idol?
I saw some people saying that it has something to do with Summer's powers because Summer's powers have to do with
Oh,
love
Peop-
or whatever.
yes.
So hurting the person you love will hurt you. I don't understand.
His
I couldn't fully
activated?
say it again.
I'm thinking because his powers are activated because you see the vines everywhere. What if it's like a
If it's an
area?
AOE type of thing, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I think that people on Twitter were getting at. That was the only theory that I really saw in terms of why her chest might possibly be hurting here. I am assuming that it has to do with her kicking Brooke.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Talking
Definitely.
about the matter with my homie last week at locals, I definitely landed on the whole thing about him knowing her in the past. And her being a fan might not just be because she knows his music. Maybe she really did know him in
It's
the past.
personal.
Right.
And it's personal. And let's assume she was brainwashed or whatever. And kind of like you guys remember Thriller Bark, Sindri, the girl with the plates, how
Yeah.
she didn't at some point she didn't keep continuing. She didn't listen to the doctor's demands, and her body didn't move, and she was crying, despite having been dead. So I think maybe this is Gunko, such a dragon, brainwashing, kind of powering down for a second, and like her real self feeling it.
Coming out,
Yeah.
feeling the pain. That'd be interesting. I like that one too. I like that.
Because we talked about the fact that Gunko doesn't have a Saint title yet.
Yeah.
And that's really weird because we have gotten, Killinghams, Summers, and Shamrocks. So maybe she really has, was kind of like grandfathered into being a special dragon and wasn't born one. And then that all would work together somehow.
That's interesting. I like that theory. I like that a lot because we definitely have not gotten as much as we have from the others. So I could definitely see something like that. That's interesting.
Another thing is that she has like so many random bits of personality out of nowhere, right? Like her being shy about seeing men naked, and then the food she really liked. But despite that, she's so stoic the whole time.
The music thing, yeah.
Music thing, like there's like bits of like her real personality showing.
And then moments of lashing out because she's shown that,
Yeah, like extreme anger. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. Yeah, so Summers confirms to Killingham that the system is up, and he begins to speak to the entirety of the island. He says, "Can you hear me, Elbaf? Come in, warriors of Elbaf." As these warriors in the different parts of the town are fighting the nightmares, Summers broadcasts to the island. He says, "I'm sure you're all busy scrambling to deal with the strange events unfolding around you. That was our doing. I am a dagger sent straight from the sacred Mary Joie. I am Summers of the Holy Knights." We see some of the giants reacting to this information that they're hearing. He goes on, he says, "As I'm sure you've realized, all over Elbaf, we have taken 10 of your children as hostage. On top of that, we have reduced an orange-bearded man to a bloody mess for the crime of pursuing us from the school in an attempt to free the children." So the island now finds out the soul's in danger and the kids are kidnapped, all those that didn't already know. He continues and says, "In other words, while you blithely assume," I've not heard that word before, "while you blithely assume that someone else was going to do the rescuing for you, the children have continued to march toward the goal." So Killingham says the game just started. It's a shame we can't use the video. Killingham, talking to Angie, says, "Can you name all the children who marched out of here?" Angie says yes. Killingham says, "Let their parents know that it's time for the twerps to wake from their dreams." And then they wake up. I don't know what this part of the plan is for them, as why he woke them up. But he does wake them up. And the kids start to recognize where they are. Well, not recognize. They recognize they're in danger. That they're still being marched along, even though they've woken up. The arrow is still forcing them to walk in whatever direction it's forcing them to walk.
So, and also, because we were coming up with theories about that, so they can be consciously up and forced to walk along with the arrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of if they are asleep or not. So okay.
This is dude. The Holy Knights are really messed up, bro. Because now with the kids awake, the parents they're gonna tell the parents like, "Hey, your kids are the ones being." So the parents are gonna rush there. They're not gonna be able to touch them because of the roses, and now the kids are gonna literally watch their parents bleed to death trying to stop and save them. Like this is some next level, real fucked up shit, bro. Like
That would make
Just,
sense.
like,
Yeah, because
yeah.
he did mention that earlier that that mother parents trying to save their kids end up getting, he literally said it word for word.
The more you love them, the more it's gonna hurt. Then it could kill you, and like they're gonna keep trying. That's why the one teacher was bloody. That's why Saul was bloody too, and obviously he was fighting him too. But like he was trying before, and now with parents it's gonna be even worse. Like
Yeah.
Gabon, not even Gabon could do anything about it unless they take care of this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then, we don't know if that's gonna stop it either, right? Because we have seen Devil Fruit power still intact after the user was taken
gets
out.
knocked out. Yeah, yeah.
So and so it's not just Summer showing that he's sadistic and shit like that, but also Killingham is a part of it too because he's the one that's waking them up and
Yeah.
still keeping them paralysis and still, so he's showing his colors as well.
It's definitely a fucked up situation. Yeah, so the kids are marching along. They recognize that they're on branch number 8, but they can't control their feet. Some of the kids start whining, but Colin takes up a leadership role here as one of the only Elbaf kids who actually wants to be a warrior. He tries to put that into action. So he says, we're kidnapped. It means we can't see them. They all start crying. Colin says, stop whining. I'm here. Unlike you crybabies, I'm a warrior. And then as soon as he says that, 2 of the nightmares come from under the bush to peek out at them. And Colin completely freaks out. Like the kid that he is.
Try, bro.
Yeah. Nice try. Yeah, so back with the New Giant Pirates. They have heard the message that Summers put out, and they recognize that they need to turn around and save the kids, help Saul, everything. But their ship is in really bad straits due to a specific monster. And as they start to look, they recognize the monster looks like one of the giant's wives. And they start to put 2 and 2 together. And they realize that all of these monsters that are currently attacking this ship are moms, which is what one of the kids are most afraid of. And we get this funny panel of the giants reacting to the mom nightmares. And they say, we can't fight, our morale is getting hammered. That's our worst fear too. It's pretty funny.
The moms are Elbaf or something then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, moms are scary, man. It'd be like that.
Mom's wives, that's wild, dude.
Yeah. We even get one of them saying, I'm sorry for always going out for drinking. I'm sorry for not taking out the trash. So they're getting shook just as much as the kids are. And their ship eventually goes down as well. And we get Summers going back to his announcement saying that the Giants pirate ship has now crashed. Some of those sleep tids were real beasts. And that the kids' chances of rescue are dwindling by the minute. And now he's speaking to Elder Jarl. That it's time for them to talk. With no king on the throne, you're the boss around here. Our goal here is quite simple: to make you giants our slaves in battle. The next step is to find out how effective these kids will be as hostage. As he's talking, we see Ripley, Frankie, and that group meeting up with the New Giants pirate ship that just crashed.
The Giant Pirates.
Giant Pirates. Oh no, this is the Giant Pirates. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, pardon me. No, because the New Giants are in the underworld right now.
Loki.
Okay, so that's the Giant Pirate. My bad. I've been saying New Giants this whole time. That's my bad. Yeah, so some
new revitalized Giant Pirates, if anything.
There we go. Summers continues. He says, I bet you're wondering whose kids our 10 hostages are. As he says this, we get another map of the current area and the current players in this part of Elbaf and where everybody is stationed. And then we switch to Angie reading off the names of the 10 kids who were kidnapped. The first one is Yulva. I don't know, but it's the granddaughter, the great granddaughter of Chief Jarl.
Yeah.
We next get Scaldi, then we get Olav, who is the grandson of one of the giant pirates. Corinne, Mag, Ranja, who is another giant pirate's daughter, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Who has the most upbeat attitude out of all of them. She's like, don't worry, it'll all work out, guys. It's cool. We're gonna be okay. That's my girl right there. I love her. We get Bent. We get Johanna. Well, we get Bent saying mommy's gonna yell at me. We get Johanna who says at least you have parents. Johanna has horns still, which I thought was a little interesting.
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Maria.
Huh?
Shout out to Black Maria. She was a giant ass person that had horns.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Very true.
Oh, yeah.
Very true. Didn't think about that. We get Bjorn. And then Summers adds that makes 9, but just now hoping to save his friends. A warrior named Colin showed up to join the group, so that makes 10. And this is when we get Ripley and Scopper's reaction to their son getting kidnapped. And then we get Copper saying, "You hear that, Ripley? Our son's a hero." Colin's like, "It's not the time, homie." Not Colin. Ripley's like, "It's not the time." Summers says, "And now our commands, heed them closely, Elbaf. Your school is completely useless in war, and your library is packed full of pointless records of the past. You will burn them down right now and swear fealty to us. If you do not, we will eliminate the brats one at a time." To everyone's shock. And he also says that your Chief Yarul, have to make the call. So yeah, tension is up right now. He continues, he says the school is the symbol of the Elbaf's current state of peace. Oh no, this is Angie saying this, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Summers tells Chief Jarl he has to make the call, and Angie pleads to Killingham that the school is the symbol of Elbaf's current state of peace. The library is full of Elbaf's ancient history, and everything saved through the sacrifice of horror scholars. It is a fortune that belongs to more than just Elbaf. To Summers' dismay, he's like, "Well, girl, like, relax, girl. I don't want to hear all that shit."
I'm gonna deal with this right now. Yeah.
And to this, we get the hardest panels of the chapter. We see Robin through Chopper's point of view. Chopper begging Robin not to move. We get Scopper Gaban immediately rushing out of the vicinity, with Ripley screaming, "Please!" And then he says, "You got it." And then we get the double panel side by side of Robin and Scopper Gaban stepping up to battle, saying, "I won't let them do this." My goat, Nico Robin, standing with a King of the Pirate Crew member. Yeah,
so sick.
Very sick panel. Dope way to end it. Very hype.
The left hand of the pirate.
The left hand, yes sir. Definitely a dope panel. Dope way to end the chapter. What we thinking?
Oof. One thing I thought was pretty cool, the 10 kids got kidnapped, there's 10 straw hats. So I wonder if like there's some connection that they're trying to do, or the fact that maybe at one point all 10 straw hats will have to each save a kid type of thing.
Cool.
That'd be interesting.
I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a little, a little interesting because Colin's very like Luffy, so.
In the future, those 10 kids will be future pirates with Colin as the captain.
That'd be fire. That'd be cool.
Like this would be the moment that brought them, that brought them together, type of thing.
Yeah. I saw on Twitter some people saying that this could be a moment for Scopper Gaban to teach Robin and, in retrospect, the rest of the Straw Hats how to deal with Holy Knights, Gorosei, and whatever this immortality ability is.
Yeah, I 100% fuck with that.
Yeah, because if anybody on the island would know how to deal with it, it would be Scopper.
Yeah, that's true.
So that information would be valuable in the long run if that's how it plays out.
I don't know. I just have this feeling though that the moment that Summer sees Copper, he's like, "All right, Killingham," or they make the announcement like, "All those that have kids, try to stop those that are trying to stop us," type of thing.
Yeah,
because like they showed you multiple parents that were fighting with the giant pirates that are there that have kids, so I could see them trying to stop. Next thing you know, we thought it would be a 2v1 or Scott or Robin versus Summers. Next thing you know, it's a 2v1 versus Summers and and Scopper fighting Robin type of shit, or something like that. Like,
Yeah, and
so.
they're also not close to each other right now. Like, I
I
guess
think
Scopper's
I
on
think
his way
Scopper.
to Robin. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So either Robin will start off on her own, but Scopper will either get there very quickly or he'll just be there by then.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Robin's right
He's
now.
dashing.
yeah. Nah, he's
Yeah,
moving.
so you can see it on the map. He's cutting through like that forest right there, right? Because they're by the mountain. Because he was on the giant pirate ship. So he cuts through, and he's fast. If Shanks could do what he did, I could only imagine how fast Scopper is, even though he's older.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think this is how they set up. Getting Scopper on the bad guy side in a way, like forcing that, and like creating more tension, like Cal, you were saying, because like I don't see Robin or any of the Straw Hats there could stop Scopper if need be. Luffy would have to get there.
I think it would be a little ham for a Scopper to like see the demands of Summers. Like,
I'm just saying, I'm just curious as to like how because like he may not believe Summers' power, and then he might actually like try to grab Colin and like actually get hurt like pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah.
we don't know. So I'm definitely curious to see what Oda's gonna do next chapter.
Well, nah, they don't know which child. They don't know yet that Colin is connected to Scopper, right? They don't know that
No,
yet, right?
no, but Scopper's going there now. The moment he sees him, he's gonna feel like he's gonna try to grab him or something like that.
It's honestly what it's here to do.
I'm saying there's 10 kids there. I don't think he would know which kid immediately. I mean, I guess I don't know everyone's hair color, and so I guess.
I mean, it's
how
his
would
kid.
you-
I
how
feel like
many
he would
kids
know his
do you
kid.
know?
They
How
already
would
all
you-
have the vines on them.
I know, but I'm saying like, what did he would attack all the kids at once, right? To like, he would
Why would-
just single out Colin because they don't know that Colin is his son.
But
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think anyone
saying.
was talking about attacking kids.
I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused. Who's attacking?
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
saying-
think
I'm
anyone was-
No, the Summers because he's threatening, right? Like you saying, like Scopper Caban would like he might flip sides because of the threat of him threatening Colin, right? That's what we were talking
But
about.
honestly, he was saying it. He didn't even mean to say like Scopper specifically, but he was saying like in order to like stop anyone from trying to save the kids, he would be like, "Yo, if the parents of these kids don't try to help, I'm just gonna kill a kid at random, blah blah blah." It would just be a consequence of that. I don't think he meant specifically that he would know it's Scopper. But I do think it's more likely that other random giants are like, "Oh shit, man, I know I'm a giant, but I can't let my kid." I think Scopper is.
Yeah.
I think like a little too honorable to even like what's his name Loki, was like not willing to work with the Holy Knights, and he could have saved his friends or his animal friends. I don't think a Pirate King member would, but I do think other giants probably will. And I actually think this is the start of like the comeback for the people on the island, and I wouldn't be surprised if Luffy and them I wouldn't be surprised if like they beat Summers or someone like they might defeat a Holy Knight without the monster trio. Fucking Scopper's here. Anything's possible.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's too much else to talk about though, right? With this,
I agree.
I'm very excited to see the next chapter, to see this Scobber Robin team up. We also need to update on the underworld. We didn't get any underworld. Even in the last chapter, we only got that one panel of Luffy and Loki stuff, but we haven't got too much info out of them. I wonder if they even heard the message. Actually, now that I think about it,
I doubt it.
It said it spread throughout the whole island, so it's definitely possible. And also, I feel like the new giant pirates probably have the transponder signal to receive such messages.
Bro, when they were telling
And they had their
the
ship
people-
too, though.
when they're telling the people about the first when they said that there's 2 human invaders when they first started spreading out, they said to all the people in the Sun Realm. So I think the announcement only works in the Sun Realm.
That makes sense.
But because I really think Luffy and them will not know for a while.
Well,
if they're just chilling.
I do agree with Mr. Said that they did bring their ship down there. They could possibly have communications on their ship from the
That's
Sun
also
Realm.
a big. That's facts. That's facts.
But yeah, it could go either way.
I think the Straw Hats have their own transmissions too, no?
Yeah, but their
Yeah,
ship
but I feel like the pill bug is
there.
like a setup. It seems like it's set up in specific areas, like at specific like radio towers. Almost,
Yeah.
think of it.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
fair.
I have a lot of thoughts about Loki in them, but you know, we'll save it for next time we see them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's call it there. Much love to everybody that hung out with us today. We appreciate everybody in the chat. If you guys are not, make sure you guys watch us live every Sunday, 12 p.m. twitch.tv/Cali_Mac or YouTube at Straw Hat Sit Down. All right. Big shout out to everybody watching us after the fact on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. We appreciate you guys as well. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials at Straw Hat Sit Down on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. You look for us, you will find us. Manga is on break next week, but don't worry.
Is that confirmed?
I just saw it on here. It said 2 weeks. Yeah, 14 days.
Madness.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Manga is unfortunately on break this week, but don't you guys worry, because the Straw Hat Sit Down will be back next Sunday for some awesome break week content to keep you guys entertained. All right, so make sure you guys follow us and check us out, all that good stuff. Right.
Yes, sir.
That's about it, right? That's it. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes, sir.
Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Until next time, you guys take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Straw Hat Sit Down crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin' every time an episode is dropping. We see D3 in the corner, Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut, always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's why us, last but not least, if you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are.